Here. All right, now we have sound. I have no idea who hit that button, but you should be able to hear us. Let's get some feedback from the usuals. Hello, usuals.
Hi, Ray.
Somebody type in something that says you can hear us, and
Daniel,
then we'll move on without having to do any more tech checks.
Can you hear me now?
Tommy, can you hear me? They'll come in. I'm sure they can hear us now. All right, so no sponsors tonight, so we can skip past that. As always, at the beginning of the show, we do implore you to subscribe on iTunes and to listen on Spotify and do all those things. And we appreciate everybody who has signed up for the podcast, is subscribing, and has less comments. And that really means a lot to us. We're doing the show on a Sunday because
Sunday.
It was my birthday yesterday, and we had a big Kaiserslautern. Still no sound?
I think Albert said he can hear us, I think.
You might try the volume button, PJ.
No sound. No sound. Daniel Nathaniel, still no sound. Okay. Let's see here.
We had sound.
Let's go back up here. I can hear it in my headphones. Jason, can you hear me? Let's see. La la la. No, that's actually not what I was shooting for. Are we playing charades? LOL.
Okay, just a second.
Sorry. Settings. Audio.
We'll get there.
Mic's on. Yep, that's the default. This is very... I can see sound here coming through. Yeah. It was coming through on our phones. Let's check.
Let's check
our phones to see if we're crazy or not. We're probably crazy.
Albert says he has us. Albert says he hears it.
All right.
All you other people that can't hear it should turn up your volume.
Let's see. Okay, there's that. So let's wait for it to come back on live. Sorry for the delay, folks. Daniel says 5x5. Okay, we can hear you. That's what I thought. All right.
See?
There we go. All right. So anyway, we're back. Sorry about that.
You did have to turn up the volume, didn't you?
But we do appreciate happy birthday. Thank you, Ray. My party was, and we were just getting to that, one of the best. You see, he was fortunate because he got to attend it, and it was one of the best parties we've ever thrown. Now, my wife, Dee Dee, knows how to throw a party.
She does that.
She knocked the bottom out of this one. It was incredible. And it was just a great party. So, we're going. It's because the comments are going up. Okay, I was scrolling back down. That's why. Okay, we hear you. Yeah. It was a Cinco de Mayo themed party. Now, when COVID kicked off, she just wanted to have a Cinco de Mayo party as soon as we could get people to cram into the house, right?
Right.
But hi, Eric. Hey, Eric Grill's here. That is awesome. She wanted to do a Cinco de Mayo party, but it just so happened that my birthday, which rarely happens, was on a Saturday this year.
Right.
So we combined a Cinco de Mayo theme with actual Mexican food with my awesome birthday, and there you go. That's how and you had the opportunity to attend. Taylor, I'm not even going to say anything. I'll let him yeah, we did meet at a party. We met at a toga party. Nathaniel's got a good memory. A party that Dee Dee threw. Actually, that's not wrong. We met at Thanksgiving, and then there was a party right after that. So we actually met on Thanksgiving. I dressed up, put on a tie and everything. A friend of mine named Jessica introduced us. But anyway, what's your opinion of the party?
Party was good. We had people from...
No. Let's try that again. Party was good is not a good response. Let's be a little more enthusiastic.
The party was out friggin' standing.
Ding! That's what I mean.
Standing.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the cool thing I like about your parties is...
let's go to Keith Cam. We have Keith Cam.
Is you bring an eclectic group of people to your parties.
Indeed.
You have, of course, Dee Dee is a teacher in the Dodds system. For those of you that don't know what the Dodds is, or Dodia now, that's how old I am.
It's both, really.
Dodia, it's the military, the Department of Defense education activity, or schools for military kids.
Right.
And so she's a teacher, so she brings some friends that she's known for a long time.
Matt knows the party was good.
Yeah, Matt Davis.
And he was first in the door.
And I apologize, Matt. I thought we've been Facebook friends for a long time. I didn't realize that till you friended me today, and I thought it was a...
Matt, I got you. We've been friends. We're good.
Screw you both. All right, anyway.
So you bring this eclectic group of people to your house, which is a fantastic house in
Dee Dee picked it.
Brook
Muehlbach. I don't care. It's not where I live.
Things like he flips coins.
Oh, see?
That was funny.
You're going to be mean today, aren't you?
Well, I've got.
Because I saw some of the things we're going
I'm
to show.
spitting venom. By the way, don't forget we've got our big bracket coming up at the on the half hour. It is best conspiracy theories, but I forgot to mention that at the top. But come on, you still got Keith Cam.
Okay, so we have these people. You have public affairs people. You have IT people. You have teachers. And all of these people are grown ass adults, so they don't have a problem. You have officers. You have enlisted. So all these people don't have a problem coming and being social outside of work with a beer usually in hand. Or there were a lot of margaritas floating around last night.
Right.
And so I tried to lay off because I knew we would be playing golf in the hot sun today.
Right.
And so I had a beer.
It was hot.
And no, it was good.
It was a spectacularly good party, and I say that because Dee and our great friend Rhonda Bernard, who traveled in from Paris, who is a mutual friend of my sister-in-law, and we've come to grow close to. She actually came in from Paris to. It's there, Dad. It'll take a second. Hi, Dad. I love you. It actually she came in from Paris to be here for this party, so I can't thank her enough. Dee Dee did the whole thing. We had more beer than you could shake a stick at. We had so much food, but you guys ate all of it. The funniest moment of the night that I recall was at some point somebody thought the margarita mix that we'd put in the freezer and brought out did not have alcohol in it. But the thing was, we had filled it with the recommended amount of alcohol and then froze it and then brought it out. We put it out there so it could thaw. But somebody said, hey, this says it doesn't have any alcohol in it, so let's do some shots first, and then we'll add some alcohol to this. So it said to add 750 milligrams of alcohol to it. We actually added 800, so they were adding more alcohol on top of that. But you know what? That was the most popular item of the night. That bucket just kept moving toward by the end of the night, it was on the barrel table, and people were just like, hallelujah. It was going.
I did not do that.
It was hilarious.
I did not get a margarita. I did not do a tequila shot.
I didn't get a margarita either because they were like this. They're like, don't fucking
right.
Don't. Yeah, it was awesome, but that's good. I mean, it was that was a good thing. So, but it was a great party. I turned 51. And the funny thing we found out today, did you see the balloons when you came in that said 51, right?
Yes.
So, we flip them around, and Annabelle's 15th birthday is coming up. So, winner, chicken dinner, we have stuff we don't have to buy, and we like that a lot. So, Great party, great birthday. His birthday was just a week before, so now we are 5150. My friend Michael and I were 5150 until today. Now we are 5151. So, all good things and things like that. But we hope you're having a great Sunday. Again, we're here on Sunday. We were originally going to do this on Friday. Then Dee Dee and I went to dinner. We were somewhere forever. But it was a fantastic meal, great server. And then Saturday was just booked. Booked solid.
Booked.
Yeah.
And today took forever.
Right. So before we get to what we want to show folks, what have you got for fun?
Washington, a little bit of sports. Washington unveiled the football team in Washington, or the Washington football team.
That is correct.
Unveiled their new helmet, which
and showed them a package.
No longer has the Indian chief on it, the Native American chief on it.
Right.
It now just has a number. So the player's number will be on.
Hello to everyone who's joining us. Thank you for joining us on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Big number this week.
Also, let's repeat because we have new people.
Right.
If you are joining us on one of our pages, please go
over to the
JK page itself.
That's right.
So we can see your comments.
Yes.
Great Van Halen album. There you go.
That's
Ray Pollock.
I've lived my life by it.
So the Washington football team helmet. Most everybody, if you're a sports fan, is familiar with the Alabama helmet where it's red, maroon, if you will, and just the number on the side.
Yep.
So, and most people, if you follow football, are familiar with the Southern California Trojans, who have the cardinal or whatever it's called color. I know it's not cardinal. With the yellow 23 or the yellow number on it, or the
USC
Trojan.
Fan is really making me want to strangle him. But go ahead.
Don't care. With the Trojans, now they have the yellow number, so it looks like a college football helmet.
It does. It looks very much, and I thought but I think it's okay. I think it's
for a year.
For a transition period, I think it's fine. No Tommy Trojan, so that's fine. And, the Alabama helmet is kind of a classic look anyway. So Dan Snyder's never done a thing right as the owner of the Washington Redskins, but this is fine for as an interim thing. And, it's a lot like the Nebraska helmet, which has an N on the side, which people from Nebraska will tell you is for knowledge. You fucked up my joke. Anyway, yes, that is...
I'm from Oklahoma. I know what it means. I don't give a shit what Nebraska people think.
So I was decrying sports a little because there were no audiences. And so I did try to watch baseball, and I was kind of no. It just... Because they tend to pan out, and it shows the empty stadium. But I have been watching basketball in the bubble, and I've been enjoying that. That's been pretty good. I watched Philadelphia play, I forget who it was, but the Clippers played somebody today, and they won in the last second. So I'm enjoying that. The way they have it set up is fine. But the baseball thing is still a bridge too far for me. Especially I was watching Nats-O's. John B. would appreciate that. It was a Nats-O's game, and there was just nobody in the stand. It's like it's like somebody would walk into the stadium and be like, hey, what's going on here? What are you guys doing? And it was like, I don't, so.
Did you see the screen grab of, and I couldn't tell you which game it was, but there's all these cardboard cutouts, and then there's Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. Just back there. It's hilarious.
That's a good one. All right, so let's get to, this week, we have figured out a way to show you video. And now it's not like it's a new invention. Any other podcast, any day can do this. But we have some video for you, and we're going to show it to you and comment over it. So do you want to do saying goodbye to the sandwich or fire pants on fire?
Let's go with the sandwich.
All right, so today we went golfing, and I have a sandwich that I hate. I've hated it since...
It hates him, too.
It hates me, and I keep wanting to make up with it, but it keeps hitting bad shots. So today... I decided to put it to its death.
Let that one go.
So we had a bit of a ceremony. So here is the ceremony, and we will comment on this as we go. All right, ready? Here we go. This sandwich is giving me nothing but problems.
Are we getting audio?
For the 7 or 8 rounds of golf that Keith and I have been on. Its day is done. So sandwich, why don't you follow that last fucking ball I hit?
That's the nicest he's talked to that sandwich.
Have a nice day.
In months.
So that was the sandwich ceremony. Let's show it to you one more time. This sandwich is giving me nothing but problems for these 7 or 8 rounds of golf that Keith and I have been on. Its day is done. So sandwich, why don't you follow that last fucking ball I hit?
And
the sound
have a nice day.
The sound of it going in is fantastic. So anyway, we decided to put the sand wedge to its death, and the pitching wedge did very well. You saw that one shot I had out of the sand today.
You did.
And for the first time in about the last 2 or 3 outings, I finally beat Keith, which was because he's been on his game for sure. Although I'm starting to debate his golfing accounting a little bit as far as like, oh, that was a 5. And I was like, all right, a 5. So I never ask him what his score is anymore. I'm asking him, what are you calling that? And he'll go, that was 5. So
I don't mess with the score.
Here, let's watch it again. This sandwich is giving me nothing but problems for these 7 or 8 rounds of golf. I need to lose weight. Look at this area right here.
Its day is done.
I know, sweat boobs.
Sandwich, why don't you follow that last fucking ball I hit?
And in it goes. So anyway, that is the death of the sandwich. And so we wanted to make sure you saw that. We had Keith film. We were going to do a little more dramatic, but the golf course was so crowded today. So we couldn't, we didn't want to interrupt people's games and make a big deal out of it. And there were people, cramped up on us. And there were people cramped ahead of us. So that was about the most dignified way, the most outrageous way, really, that we could get rid of it.
Right.
But it was worth it. So I'll go buy another one. He's got a great new golf shot he's found a little south of here. And we will do that. But, I'm glad we exercised that thing. Now, the other thing I did was I brought out my big-headed driver. And I thought I had tamed it on the range when we got there. But
no.
But it earned its keep for one more round. On that, so
you don't know how excited I am to see Albert Rivas here.
Who's Albert Rivas?
He's this.
Welcome, by the way.
He's the schmo that lives in.
Get
Lawton.
A better connection,
No.
Dad.
He's like Mr. Popular in Lawton. He will be mayor of Lawton.
Mr. Popular.
Oh yeah, he's into everything: politics, theater.
Yeah.
Just. Everybody likes Albert.
I'm excited that Eric Grill is here. Not only is he one of the tribe, which warms my heart, but he is one of my dear friends from AF News, and it's always great to have him in the house. So, again, thanks for coming, Eric. So, let's see. What else you got on your notepad?
Yeah.
Before we get to the fire video, which is amazing. And it has, seriously, the 10 seconds that I told you about earlier is still my favorite, but go ahead.
I received an email from Amazon.
All right.
to rate this book called Seven from the System.
What?
Do you mind telling me
title.
who wrote Seven from the System?
I did.
You wrote this book.
I did.
Seven from the System.
I did. It's a good book.
Purchased it off Amazon.
Yeah.
I really, really.
I should have brought up your review.
Really
I'll do that next week.
Screw it. I really wanted
many
to
spelling errors you made.
screw with you on it, but by God, I gave it 5 stars.
Keith Camp.
I gave it. I gave it 5 stars, and I even wrote a thing. Hey, this is a great book, very well written.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more, even though it's only 150 pages.
Yeah.
Each story is not connected except for it's set in the same solar system. And again, I gave it 5 stars. So it's not a sponsor of the show.
Back to normal, Camp.
Right now, and but Keith recommends going to Amazon and buying Seven from the System by this guy here.
And
Jason Tudor.
And I, as the author, recommend that as well. You can pick it up on Amazon. It's $6.99 for print, $4.99 for Kindle. And I appreciate everybody who has bought a copy and has left a review. It really does matter that you leave a review. Bad or good, it does help the book get out there and get seen. So if you haven't got your copy, please go buy one. I think I have sent one to just about everybody. But if I haven't, I got to get one to my dad, I think. But if you want to buy one for me, I've got them here. I've got them. Just let me know. And that'll get done. So, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that,
No,
and
you're
it's
very
always
welcome.
fun. So,
Thanks for being such a prolific writer.
well, I haven't been very prolific lately, but I'm about to put it into gear this week. The great news is the first page of the new Vorpal comic was colored. It looks beautiful, and I'm about to send him the second page probably tomorrow or Tuesday for him to color. So,
Very good.
All right, let's talk about this next piece of video because I had gone home for the day. And you were staying behind because you had to do an AFN segment with some of our peeps.
Yes. So
And
I worked an hour late.
Right. So we live on a 3-story building, and of course, like many military
Or
buildings, there is a
work.
old school metal fire escape on the side that we usually go in and out of every day. And one day, Keith walked out, and this happened.
It was scary.
Now listen to Keith, though. This is awesome. Listen how he narrates this. Let me move this up here. Here it comes.
I hope so.
He goes,
Gas tank?
and this is my favorite part.
Tires.
Like he knows. Like he knew. Tires. Now listen to the guy behind him just going on and on about the phone.
What he was trying to do was he got a call, and he's trying to explain that he has to take his child out of one child development center or daycare and put it in another one.
Yeah.
But he just kept going on and totally screwing up what is fantastic, awe-inspiring video.
Here, let's start it again. And we gotta now see that. Now, if you have been moved around enough in the military, or you've as a civilian and done this with the DoD, this looks eerily like a truck full of household goods.
It really
Just looking
does.
at the crates and things like that right here. These look like crates, but upon further forensic examination, they have to be much taller. They'd have to fit in here. But
Be bunched up like that so it screws
Right.
up some of your stuff.
so we determined it just under our own Columbo castle-style investigation that these weren't household goods, and then it was later confirmed this was like a civilian truck on its way to another state next door called Saarbrücken. And the guy in the cab, I guess you said, got out like just in time, right?
That's what I understood.
Yeah. So anyway, this was a bit of excitement. Now, when this kind of thing happens, they close off the highway and it backs up like a million miles, right?
But you can still see that there's cars going by right now.
on the right-hand side.
So what they finally did is, once the fire trucks got there, and you can hear the sirens in the background,
Right.
is they shut it off down to this. What you see there is a construction zone.
Right, that's right.
So the truck driver had enough time to at least pull into the construction zone,
Right.
so cars could go by on either side.
Right.
So as the fire trucks got there, they stopped traffic coming from left to right.
Porta potties is a good one. Poop explodes. I mean, all that methane and stuff. Let's watch it one more time. I seriously, folks, the thing that really cracks me up is when he goes, gas tank? And then the next thing he goes, Tires. Here, just listen to it one more time.
Hello?
Gas tank.
This is Jason.
And then he goes.
Tires.
That's my favorite. Seriously, it's like he suddenly had turned into Walter Cronkite. Like, those were the tires, and you needed to know that they had exploded. So
That's
the news. And the guy behind you apparently was named Jason, because he said, "This is Jason, and there's a major crisis in front of me, but I need to talk to you about a thing while things are exploding." Humans are very interesting. This show is a JK with your pals Keith on the this side and me on this side. Thanks for joining us on a Sunday. Actually, we're getting good numbers for a Sunday. This may be the day to do it versus Saturday when we're all running around to Home Depot and things like that. That's Captain America over there. That is the hat from when I deployed right there.
There's a poster from Hooper. No, that's Hooper.
No, Hooper's over there. I got to move that, actually. But this is the poster from Jodorowsky's Dune back here. That's Captain Marvel right there. Lots of Star Wars
some
stuff
good
here.
New listeners.
I moved Howard. I forgot to bring him back up, but we'll have him back as the mascot soon. We want to let you know that we do this twice a week. So we do actually 3 times. We make sure this goes to podcast form twice a week. So that's the Tuesday and the Saturday show. But we do one live show a week, and that's this bad boy right here, where we just give you our engaging, warm personalities and let that fucker run, and we'll see where it goes. And if you laugh, we laugh.
Kind of like my I'm trying to chip 20 feet, and I would skull the ball, and it would go 80 feet. Just let that fucker run.
You were hitting it so hard today, and
I wasn't hitting down.
All he needed to do was just get the club underneath the ball, lift it up, and sort of doop it onto the green. But apparently there was somebody he was angry at in front of him in his mind, and he was just like, "Yeah," and the ball would go, "Yeah."
If there was somebody I was angry at in my mind, their ankles really hurt right now.
All right, so don't forget, we're going to do our Urban Myth bracket. That's coming up in about 7 or 8 minutes. But let's go to this, and I want you to explain what's happening here to everybody, what happened on the golf course today.
For fuck's sake. All right, so let's just say I had today one of the worst front nines, first 9 holes of golf.
He was in full meltdown form for the front 9. He picked it up
pissed.
on the back, but he was in full meltdown.
But you want to know how my day went on the front 9? I hit into the trees, which there's a lot of trees. If you saw from that picture we had with him throwing the sand wedge away, there's a lot of trees on the Ramstein Air Base golf course. So I was in the trees looking for my ball, and goddamn, if I didn't step on a stick, it popped up between my legs, not in a good way.
No.
And tripped me as I was walking. Of course, I was probably stomping around a little bit, something, that kind of thing.
You were definitely doing that for like almost every hole.
And I went down on my hands and knees. Now, one thing you don't know, maybe, if you've never been to Germany, is almost every tree is a pine cone tree.
That's true, because every time I sort of step out looking for a ball I've lost, I'm like, oh, is that my ball? No, it's a pine cone.
So there's all kinds of pine cones. So I went down on sticks and brush and pine cones, and that was the picture you saw of my knee. It's not horrible. It just typifies the day I had until we made the turn and started the back 9.
Yeah.
But little imprints on my hand. My knee is
Keith got wood. That's nice. Shrapnel, yeah, good one.
Way to go, Jim.
Need to file 13 to Dodgers Cup. It clutters the background. Okay, we need to block PJ from commenting and maybe even listening to the show because that's not allowed.
I've been trying to do that since we started, but
I've got this one here. I've got my Dodger phone case there. Yeah, we're going to have to consider PJ's loyalness
I'll bring over some OU stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, this isn't, there's a lot of thistle and stuff. You can easily trip and hit pretty bad, so.
All it did was really wound my pride.
Only the second time in his half century, yeah. So anyway, it was so hot today. Well, I shouldn't say that. It wasn't so much that it was hot. It was just crowded.
It was crowded.
It's the most crowded we've seen it. Well, we played with a great partner.
Yeah.
Someone he used to work at Marshall Center. I used to work at Marshall Center, so that was very, very cool. So, what else you got on your list? Go ahead.
Dirty Dancing 2.
This is a good one.
Dirty Dancing 2. Now,
I thought there was already a 2, Keith Can.
What? They were, Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. Never saw it. I just read about
Tilt
it.
Tilt it a little more so you can get my little stupid head in there.
I don't want your little stupid head in there.
That's good. You don't have to go that far. That's good.
No, your stupid head is
all right,
in there.
go, Keith
All right.
Cam.
So, I read that Jennifer Grey is going to reprise her role as Baby in Dirty Dancing, whatever they're calling the second one, or the 2.1 or whatever it is.
2.1.
But
I know there was another one.
yeah, it was Havana Nights.
Okay.
Yeah, with nobody from the original was in there.
All right.
It took place in like Cuba or something. But here's my thought.
Poconos to Cuba.
As much as I enjoyed the film when it originally came out, and it's an iconic movie today, let's not forget that Patrick Swayze in that movie was a pedophile.
That's
Baby was only 15 years old. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And that, all the women who loved that movie and the guys that liked that movie and wanted to be Patrick Swayze was a pedophile.
My dad says, who's going to lift her if
movie.
she gained weight?
Yeah, she's grandma probably. I don't know.
Lift her? She's going to throw her back out?
And about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, she had a nose job because her face was very recognizable because of the nose she had.
Yep.
And she had that fixed. And there's a lot of people that say because she had a nose job, she lost. We're not on Keith Cam. Okay. That she lost a lot of opportunity in Hollywood.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people had a druthers with Renee Zellweger. She went in and had some work done, and she came out and she just looked... I don't know that it's horrible, but she just looked so completely different.
Like Kenny Rogers.
That pretty much, I think the only thing she's done since... I need to get this away from my mouth so you can see me talking.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. The only thing she's done is like direct-to-video stuff.
Right. She's done another Bridget Jones Diary thing. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's Hollywood, so that's kind of the way that goes. All right, let's get to it.
Are we going to get to it?
Yeah, let's get to it, unless you've got something else. There's no more sports stuff.
There are no golf balls in the BX.
No golf. That's an interesting topic. And I brought this up on my Facebook feed. Some of you play Xbox, some of you don't. Some of you play video games. This is probably a broader topic. I have an Xbox. I started getting renewed interest in it, and so one night I was just updating it because if you know Xbox, you know that the thing about it is like when you turn it on after a while, like a couple months, it's like updates upon updates, gigabytes of updates. So I knew that, and I clicked it, but then I started using my controllers, and they were both messed up, and I was like, well, this is weird. One I knew was kind of messed up, but I fought through it, but the other one I thought was pristine, and it's a wired controller I've liked for a long time, but it had something called drift, which just means one of the little levers isn't working correctly, and I was playing a game and it wasn't working. So I was kind of like, okay, no problem. I will go to the BX, which serves thousands of young soldiers who buy thousands of Xbox things every day, and they will have it. No kidding. And I knew the controllers now are like $70, $80. I'm like, all right, whatever. Sunk costs. I like playing video games. So I go to the BX, just expect around the corner, grab a controller, get out. Such man shopping, right? And they got nothing. Like their whole Xbox wall is wiped out. Whatever sort of accessory you think you're going to get ain't there. That said, I was like, that's weird, but I turned back toward the PlayStation stuff, similarly wiped out, although they had a little more. The only thing that wasn't wiped out I thought was interesting was the Microsoft Switch, the Nintendo Switch stuff.
Switch, yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll go on the economy to the German store, which is nearby, which is called Saturn. They have a great selection, and generally they have more PC stuff. They have more stuff than the BX does, but it costs more. It's in euros, which are killing the dollar right now, and
They really are.
And you can't get the software. Like you can't buy the games because they are made for Germany, and there's some differences to them. But no big deal. I just need a controller. I go to there, and I thought I'll just walk to the back. I'll grab a controller. I'll walk out. Done. Walk back there. Wiped out. Gone. I mean, just everything. Except for Nintendo Switch stuff. They had some Switch stuff, which actually we got to fix Annabelle's thing. So I was kind of weirded by that. And then I thought, okay, I will go to Amazon DE, which is the German version, and get it shipped to my house directly, and I'll just pick one off of there. So I used Amazon DE. There wasn't a controller to be found that was available. No, everyone was out of stock. So then I go to Amazon.com, and I just said, all right, screw it. I'll just ship it to my APO. No big deal. Big deal. I wanted to get another wired controller kind of like that because they're less expensive, and just to have it. But the one I wanted, it said 1 to 2 months before shipping.
Right.
And then I looked at another one. It said 3 to 4 months before shipping. I was like, what's going on? So then I went on Facebook and I asked a lot of you, are you seeing this? And it turns out, yes, there were people in Dallas. I think there were people in Oregon, and it was corroborating. It was sinking in, and somebody suggested, well, the new consoles are coming out. So it may just be that these are shortages to get ready for new consoles, but I don't buy that. I think it's because we've been sitting on our asses during COVID. Kids have been home from schools. There's and you run through these things, especially if you play a game like Fortnite or Call of Duty, where you're just and you're killing them, and you go through them. So I get that. Anyway, I did manage to find one. It is shipping in a normal amount of time. But then, as Matt Davis made a great suggestion, he says, there's a Media Markt, which is another sort of like Best Buy-ish store that is in a town that's just west of us. He said, try that. Not many people go to that. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'd already ordered, but I thought, well, if they have one there, I'll get it anyway. I'll have two. And Keith and I play golf. When he comes over, we'll play it then. So I go to Media Markt. Matt wiped out. Nothing at Media Markt. Like less than what Saturn had. Just gone. So it was an interesting sort of study in how COVID is affecting even our home lives, because here was something I thought was just like, oh yeah, we have thousands of soldiers. The BX keeps TVs and video game stuff all the time, but there's obviously some sort of stocking and distribution and making. I mean, the whole thing's got to be affected. So, okay, it's bracket time. Let's do this.
Before we go, I have to say, because I know this is her first time watching.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki Boo, good to see you in here. And she also said, I think she was saying she did What If on Netflix. I think she was talking about Zellweger.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, thanks for watching, Nick. I know it's not your cup of tea, but thanks for tuning in.
We're going to make it your cup of tea, ma'am.
We'll pour some liquor in it.
Anyway, my dad's comment's still funny. Who's going to lift her if she gain weight? So my dad. All right, folks, it's bracket time. We told you that the bracket this week was Urban Myths, and I went so far as to do a 16. So what may happen at the end of this half hour, he's got it. Can you see it?
You mind your business.
I knew I should have brought up some Metamucil. Anyway.
You're older than me. Shut the hell up.
We've got 16. We may only get through the first 8 tonight. But that said, we also received 11 predictions. So let's tell you about the predictions and announce who's on the prediction list.
I just broke the crotch protocol. Sorry.
Someone called Too Close to Call. There's Matt's bracket. All Seeing and Knowing. That's probably my dad. What Contrail Game. There's Matt Davis's. Tinfoil Hat. Too Many True Things Here. Not a single person grew up believing this was true. Only because Single Bullet Theory wasn't listed. Hey, that's a good one. I didn't think about that
is
one.
a good one.
Didn't think about that one. There's PJ's. Witchy Woman is Ray's. And then Daniel Nathaniel, who is like savantish. He's like the Michael Jordan of our brackets. He's in with his. So anyway, it's a good crowd. 11. We wanted to get past 10. We did that. So thank you for that. We will come back.
One of those is Stefan.
So you can see the brackets. We will come back to the comment screen every once in a while. But here we go. Let me just read them off to you, and then we'll get started with the lower ones. So Jeffrey Epstein's death will go up against 5G mind control. Area 51 aliens versus jet fuel and steel beams. Moon landing faked and don't swim for 30 minutes after eating. Loch Ness Monster and spontaneous combustion. That's one of my favorites. Illuminati versus Freemasons, or Illuminati Freemasons versus alligators in the New York sewers. Chemtrails versus ghosts and ghost hunters. Flat Earth versus dress warm or you'll catch a cold. And Bigfoot versus the Shroud of Turin.
I saw this for the first time about 10 minutes before we went live.
He did. He really did. I thought good bracket discipline on his part to do that. So we'll just check the comments. Can't get a 9mm. Can't get 9mm loading ammo. There's
Tony Bullock's wave. Tony.
There's a lot of there are a lot of shortages. All right, let's get started, and we will update this, and we'll, as we do with every round, we'll tell you where we are in the brackets.
Just so if you're joining on one of our pages, and there's a lot on my page, surprisingly enough.
Right.
Thank you. First of all, thank you.
Yes.
Go to the show page.
Go to the show page so we can see comments that you make. We see that you're there. If you're on My Watch Party, go to the This Show is a JK page. Like it. And then tune into that live and make your comments there. Okay, so let's start with the 8-9. Area 51 and aliens versus jet fuel melts steel beams. Who you got?
See, that's a tough one because that gets into when we start talking about jet fuel
Keith Cam.
melting steel beams, that goes right back to the World Trade Center. And
Yeah.
that's always a touchy subject, no matter what you're talking about.
Right.
So, and then I've already lost my train of thought.
Aliens or jet
Aliens.
fuel?
Okay, you and I talked briefly about this. I've
Thank you, Dad.
always been under the thought process that if we as humans are the only life anywhere ever,
Yeah.
we are screwed.
Yeah.
So I
'cause we're
now
us.
what are the criteria? Let's go back real quick.
There are no criteria.
The most bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's just, in my head, it's just what are the most bullshit, outstanding ones that stick out to you?
Okay, so
Use whatever criteria you want. Because Darren asked me the same thing. Darren, who's back in Detroit. Hi, Darren. We hope you're out
Darren.
there. He asked me the same thing. What are the criteria? And I said, whatever you want. I was thinking about the most bullshit, ridiculous themes, and I put them in a bracket, and now we're kind of going, okay, yeah, that's ridiculous. I think the most ridiculous BS one to me.
okay, so and but Area 51
I think we're only going to get through the first
specifically.
8 tonight.
Area 51 specifically.
Yeah.
Do I think there's stuff going on out there? There's some secret stuff
Don't
going on.
get too wrapped
out
around
there.
Area 51 so much
Yeah,
as just
it's just
aliens.
aliens?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the most bullshit
Yeah.
is the jet fuel burn. Melting
Yeah, I'm
steel
with you
beams.
on that. The universe is pretty vast, and there are a lot of suns, and there are a lot of planets rotating around suns. To me, there has to be some sort of organism that exists that is not us. It doesn't mean it has to be intelligent life. I think people always come back with that one. There has to be more intelligent life in the world. Intelligence is sort of a morality check, and it's not really factual. It's like we expect to meet more Karens or more whatevers in the universe. And really, it's just, are there other organisms? Are there amoebas in the water somewhere? Are they at that stage of the evolution versus, are they walking around with briefcases and hitting each other with clubs, right? So I think, to me, I agree with you. The jet fuel and the steel beams is the biggie. I'm one of these guys that likes to watch the conspiracy theory documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
The Zeitgeist documentary, which I think is really good. If you haven't seen that on YouTube, it's just fun to watch and sit and absorb and consider and go, well, that's complete bullshit, but there's probably a grain of truth there. And, because all conspiracy has a grain of something to sort of hang itself on. But jet fuel steel beams, that's the one from Loose Change, which has been edited like 47 times now. They used all this footage. And, he's making all these suppositions and really putting together a lot of things. But to me, there's a lot of bullshit to but it's really ridiculous. So which one are you picking?
I am for as far as bullshit.
Yeah.
The steel beams.
All right. So let me get out of the brackets page. So we're going with jet fuel and steel beams, moving on.
As the most bullshitty.
That's it. All right. So let me score this real quick. 1, 2, 0. And on we go.
Also, my cousin Lisa checked in for the first time. Man, look, David Mays.
Hey, again,
If you're just tuning in, first of all, thank you. Second of all, go to the show page, the JK show page,
so we can see your comments.
please.
Not the criteria we follow. We'll be all right, Ray. We'll get there. I think we'll figure this out. I mean, if you were going by which theory is most plausible, I think some of that's going to play out too. So that was part of the problem with this bracket. It was a very interesting bracket to put together, but we never really came together on what the criteria is. So it's just to go with your gut, and I don't want you to go by any sort of that's the most bullshit, but I just think that's the one that should go forward. So we'll try to do that. All right, let's get back to it. 710, chemtrails versus ghosts. All right, look.
Oh.
I've never believed in ghosts. Ghosts to me are one of those things that parents or elders or someone made up to help control or keep you in line. If you get out of bed, the monster under the bed is going to eat you alive. I get it. Kids are annoying. You want them to go to sleep. Because you want to go do your thing. You want to go watch TV or have sex or whatever it is, but your kid needs to be preoccupied doing something else, preferably going to bed at whatever time you've assigned it. At some point, because we didn't have enough knowledge or because it was just a thing of the day, we thought, well, you know what? That thing just got knocked over in the other room, even though there was a really bad windstorm going outside. That's your Aunt Carol, and she hates it when you don't go to sleep. If you don't go to sleep, she's going to turn into a demon and eat your head. Go your ass to sleep. You know, and oh, that was Aunt Carol that knocked something over in the hallway. And my favorite part of the bullshit are these shows where they have these ghost hunters.
Yeah,
these 30-something, I didn't quite make it through college.
Guilty, I love
with their e-meters and everything else. They're like, oh, I think something went breathlessly down the hall there. And
What was that?
Now,
What was that?
I'm not trying to be a cynic. I think there is a tremendous mythology built up on it. I'm all for that. I'm all for the fiction and how people can write in the fiction. But it's when people start saying, I can't sell you this house because it's haunted. Or, I can't, my mother lives in the back and I can't leave. You can't evict me because my mother's a ghost and she lives in the back.
Now, that's one I've never heard.
And there's also something else. The ghosts that seem to occupy people's lives either seem to come from, like, the Victorian era or, like, the Arthurian era. There really isn't, like, an Egyptian ghost that's haunting somewhere, or like a ghost from 1951 that's like my Uncle Ralph who came back from World War II and he just sort of sits around and eats cake. There are ghosts like that. It's always like my Aunt Gertrude, who in 1894 was the Lady of the Lake or whatever, and you're like, really? That's all the ghost power you got?
Hey,
So
if you've seen the pyramids, you know the Egyptians knew how to send a spirit off.
So Matt said, one thing about aliens, why would they be more advanced than us? They could be many popular. See, exactly. The aliens might be stupid as fuck. They might still be living in their own mythology. You know, like, oh, that is a phoenix fire god. No, it's not. It's a comet. So, yeah, I totally agree with that, Matt. So, anyway.
Chemtrails.
In this one, so I got to chemtrails. So chemtrails is so full of bullshit you could sell it as fertilizer. You look, condensation builds up on the tips of airplane wings and it leaves streaks in the skies. Ding, that's it.
Science.
If you're so scared and paranoid and insecure to believe that airplanes are flying around trying to chemically control you in the same kind of scared paranoia that 5G towers are going up to control your brain,
Hold on to that one.
oy vey. But anyway, that's what I think. I'm picking ghosts.
As the most bullshitty?
I'm picking ghosts.
Okay,
Again,
all right,
I don't want to
All right.
dash people's hopes here, but
Here's
I'm
my
picking.
thing about ghosts. Somebody who I really care about
Keith Cam.
was in the deepest, darkest part of recovering, being treated for and recovering from cancer. And she was reading, she says, was reading a book one day, propped up in her bed. She said, Keith, I know I was not dreaming. I know I was not dreaming. And gosh, this is 20, 25 years ago. And she said, all of a sudden I looked up from the book and there was my dad. Her dad died before I was born. And he said, Glenda, oops. Sorry, Mom. Glenda, it's going to be okay. And she said she'll swear up and down because actually that story came out because we were watching Ghost Hunters. And so I'm not saying I've ever had a ghostly experience. As far as I know, I never have. But
There, my stupid cat.
I'm not saying it's out, maybe not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
Chemtrails, so we have to flip, and I didn't bring anything to flip. Don't flip me.
We're not letting you flip for a while.
Okay.
All right, we'll use this.
So I'm going with chemtrails.
All right, so he's picking chemtrails. I'm picking ghosts. This is a Nintendo Switch cartridge holder. One side actually says like Nintendo Switch, and the other side doesn't have anything. Since I'm flipping correctly and won't injure anyone, I'll pick the side that says Nintendo Switch, and he gets the side that says nothing. All right? Let me move my mic a second. Flip it. You're a winner. Chemtrails advances. Easy. I want to caveat something about what you just, nice story you just told, but let me secure the bracket here real quick. There we go. So one there.
And I've had other people tell me stuff like that, along with other topics on our bracket.
Right.
So, again, as far as I know, never had experience.
We're never letting Keith flip the coin again until he goes to remedial. Yes, exactly. Thank you, PJ. He's fired for now. We'll get him into I think the Army might have a level 1 course or something. So let me.
It's probably online.
I'm not hedging back from what I said about oh, it's a Victorian ghost and she's haunting my house. I think when people find comfort in ways that help them be calm, that help them move on, that help them meditate, and if they believe that, I do not walk that back. I think it's this corny business model like the Ghost Hunter shows more than anything else.
I don't disagree with
that. Drives me absolutely bonkers. On the other hand, if somebody feels like that and they believe that, I very much respect that. And again, if it brings them comfort and it brings them security, I am all for that. So I don't want people to think I'm sliding that in the least. I'm sliding, dude, I brought this hamburger helper box that has a diode in it, and I can tell down the hall that I can hear the wave of a sheet of a gun. Come on, dudes, give me a break.
It's interesting that in Lawton, I was invited by one person to go with one of these groups, but the manager, person in charge of this group, said no. He's a journalist. He's a reporter. He wouldn't take it seriously.
All right, so we're definitely getting through only 8 of these, which means we'll have to figure out. We'll get to the next 8 next week. So it really is like a Final Four tournament tonight.
Yay!
So anyway, let's get to the 6-11, which is Bigfoot versus the Shroud of Turin. Now, I was just in Turin, and we had talked extensively in the car about the Shroud of Turin and how 5 or 6 different no-kidding studies have dated the actual shroud to around the 14th or the 15th century. And so, although it is still kept in a very secure place and da-da-da-da-da. So that said, I agree with the scientific testing, but I also sort of agree with the notion with what I just sort of spoke about, and that is, if the notion of the Shroud of Turin being something that Jesus Christ was buried in brings you some sort of comfort, I'm not decrying that. However, I personally don't think that the Shroud of Turin is that. Nothing corroborates with it. So to me, that is not a thing. I have heard the Bigfoot thing since I was 1 year old, I think.
Yeah.
Bigfoot has been as much a part of my life as Van Halen 5150, as so many, as Star Wars, as so many other things. Bigfoot is just one of those things that just seems to spike up every once in a while. Pretty sure it's mostly a Pacific Northwest thing. Everybody seems to have a Bigfoot story. If I were picking here, I would pick Bigfoot.
I will pick Bigfoot as well. I've had several people. There's supposedly one that lives in eastern Oklahoma.
It's my favorite comment ever.
You're fired from
flipping Keith.
There's still,
He just flipped you.
in eastern Oklahoma, in the Ozark, the foothills of the Ozarks,
Right.
Louisiana. I had a friend's mom tell me flat out that when she was a child, they were playing in the bayous hide and seek, and she hid behind what she thought was a tree, and it growled. So yeah, I'm going with Bigfoot as well.
All right, that was an easy
I
one.
like that
No
one.
flipping involved. So again, I'm just going back to updating the brackets here, so you know. So Bigfoot gets a 1, and Shroud of Turin gets a 0. It just everything about the Shroud of Turin is just look. Can we just file that one, please? Okay, so what do we have left? Okay, we've got the 9 and the 10. All right, let's go back. So we just did the 6-11, so let's move on to the 5-12. Loch Ness Monster. This is my favorite one of this round versus spontaneous combustion. I'll let you do that. You lead us off.
I love the idea of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
As I do Bigfoot and aliens.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Loch Ness Monster. But it's like the ghost hunters thing. You know, you have no real evidence, no real proof. I mean, this started in the 50s. Is if there was something, is it still alive?
Right.
You know, were those ripples that caused that speedboat to crash?
Yeah.
Just gas coming up from an underground log?
Right.
But I love the idea of
Loch Ness Monster.
and that's where I'm going. I'm just going with Loch Ness Monster because
Spontaneous combustion has been disproven.
Many times.
I remember getting a book when I was in grade school. Remember the old show That's Incredible?
Yeah.
It was a book of some
Kathy
of
Lee
those.
Crosby was on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was a book of some of the things from the show, and one of those was spontaneous human combustion.
Right.
But since then, it's been totally disproved. So I'm going with Loch Ness.
Spontaneous combustion was one of the most fascinating subjects of my childhood. You would just
You were afraid
hear
of it,
about
weren't
these
you?
people exploding for no reason into like this natural gassy blue burst, and there'd be like no blood spatter, no brains, no one of those things that's just like if you like a human body exploded, it would just be everywhere and require you to clean up for weeks.
Just a pile of ashes here.
Just a pile, and it was the most. I was like, that is so cool. I mean, if you gotta go, I mean, how is that? How cool is that to have that on your tombstone? Just burst. Boom, done.
She was so hot, she just burst into
flames. And then
flames.
you think about like the X-Men character Nightcrawler. That's how he teleported with the smell of brimstone as he left. Poof, but he was able to come back. But you heard about this again. I always think of the topics that were on like In Search of and Unsolved Mysteries, and again, it was just one of those things. They're like, oh, it must have been spontaneous combustion. I was like, that's such a bullshit story, and we know that now. So to me, the Loch Ness Monster, though, again, fun. They made an economy out of it. It's one of those things. So I'll concur with you. I'll go with Loch Ness Monster here. But to me, the bigger bullshit story is spontaneous combustion for sure. But Loch Ness Monster has more teeth as far as an urban myth goes. Okay. Moving on to, let's see, we did that's that. Okay. 413 is interesting. Moon landing faked versus don't swim until after 30 minutes after you eat.
The theory that the moon landing is faked just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Just totally pisses me off.
Yeah.
The swimming, I can't tell you how many times we've had backyard barbecues when I had a pool. I had a pool, an in-ground pool, 9 feet. I would eat a hot dog, eat a bratwurst, eat a hamburger, and jump in. That's the don't swim for 30 minutes after you eat is utter bullshit.
That is indeed. I actually believed it as a kid. So, I mean, I always was like, okay, I guess I got to sit here for 30 minutes. And I was trying to figure out when I got older, what control mechanism was that, right? Or did parents actually believe, like, a serpent was going to come shooting out of your stomach like Alien when you didn't swim for 30 minutes? The moon landing faked is such hubris by somebody to either take an agenda or to try to monetize like a commodity of that. The best story is the one we told, I think, a couple weeks ago with we talked about the moon landing and I keep wanting to call him Alan Arkin, but that's not right. Alan Armstrong, Aldrin, Buzz Aldrin punched the guy, and there were no charges filed because the police were like, "Yeah, you were acting like a fucking asshole. He should have punched you twice." So I think the easy one here to me is don't swim. Just because moon landing faked is one of I don't think anybody's really sort of grabbed onto that one. I think that's one of those that just sort of every once in a while it bubbles up and goes, hey, you guys, the moon landing was faked. And just about every American and human being on Earth is like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll go with don't swim as that one moving forward. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, good. And then let's see. We did 413. We did it. So this is it. Your 116 is 5G mind control coming from towers. Boy, that's a doozy. Versus Jeffrey Epstein's suicide.
5G mind, or the band in your mask.
Oh, I saw a great video on that today. Yeah. That was great.
God,
people are paranoid and insecure, scared animals, man.
Epstein. Well, do we have Hillary Clinton watching our show? No. Okay.
Maybe. So if one of us is dead tomorrow, we'll know.
Hopefully, it's not me.
If it's me,
Jeffrey
right.
Epstein's death, I think, is a fantastic.
It's political, but it's not. Because there's been a lot of.
What is the new lady's name that now supposedly has?
I can't remember her name. I just saw it earlier. Yeah, his most trusted confidant.
And if she ends up dead.
But I think the bullshitty story is
Ghislaine Maxwell. Thank you, Daniel Nathaniel.
Yes, thank you.
He is.
Epstein didn't.
We got to send him a #1 fan shirt. I got to send the shirts should be on their way. By the way, they should be there very soon.
Go back to the bracket.
You want Keith Camp? Oh, you want bracket? Okay.
Bracket.
Oh, you can't remember 5G mind control.
Yeah, I can't remember 5G because my mind is being controlled by Epstein's killer.
Probably by my dad.
All right. No, the bullshit story there is 5G mind control because it's just insanely dumb. But we've all seen people who are, well, I'm not wearing a mask because of 5G mind control. I'm not doing. Oh, shut up.
Well, I'm picking Epstein's death because it's a bullshit story that is on order of international conspiracy, and one of those things they're trying to shove down our throat. 5G mind control is so fucking stupid and being propagated by Russian bots and bot farms and just anything to stir up and distract us from, all the things that are really happening in our country. It's just one of those outlying things that I never put any thought into, that I don't give a shit about. Now, if you want to argue that 5G will help monitor your movements better with your smartphone that tracks every movement you make, got it. If you want to think that 5G will help monitor your voice and the voice input you give, that one day you're looking at your phone and I was just talking about butt plugs the other day, and look, I've got ads for butt plugs. Yeah, it does that.
You too?
Right?
No, it's not.
If you want to believe...
Joke.
If you want to believe that 5G will help them shoot ads to videos faster, yeah, it's going to do all of that. But if you believe that 5G is going to give you COVID or magically implanted chip, you're just wacko. But that said, I pick Epstein. Are you rolling with 5G?
No. Let's. If we're picking that's the better.
Epstein to me is the winner.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And by the way, if you think the government doesn't have your information now, then you don't have a driver's license, and you don't have a phone, and you don't have Alexa.
Shit. That's why we can only do the first round. Okay. Last one of this round, and then we're going to put it on hold, and we're going to tell you what the matchups are for next week's bracket. And again, we appreciate that you're all here. But the one we missed, I can't believe we missed this one, Flat Earthers versus Dress Warm, or you will catch a cold.
Neither one of these are good. I hate them both.
But
the Flat Earth people, I'm sorry. If you're one, if you are my friend and you are a Flat Earth person, you may want to unfriend me. It just drives me crazy that it's been proven and proven and proven and proven. What was the meme I saw just recently is, do you think, let's see, I was kicked out of the Flat Earth Society because I asked the question, with all of the 6-foot spacing, how long does it take until somebody falls off the earth? So now the other one is, shit, I've already forgot, sorry.
Sorry, here, let me go back to it. It is Dress Warm or Catch a Cold.
Oh, yeah.
Which
now,
isn't really a conspiracy theory. So again, I caveat this by saying this wasn't just conspiracy theories. This was urban myth, urban legend, conspiracy, sort of all rattled together. So it was more one of those, we've gotten older, we've gotten more science, and we kind of go, no, that's bullshit. Because you don't catch a cold. Viruses cause problems. Bacteria cause problems. Other things, not being cold. Although the thing I was trying to mention to you before the show was being cold might lower your immune system and make you more susceptible for catching, I think. I've heard that. I'll buy that. But, I don't buy that, same thing. Yeah, right, exactly. Old wives' tales, Matt. Got it. Yeah, that's what we were shooting for. Thank you for helping us with that. So, what you got?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I heard for years, don't go outside with your hair wet.
Right.
And in the cold.
Right.
And
because your hair will freeze. That's it.
You'll get a cold.
Right.
A cold is a virus. There's only one way for a virus to get into your system, and that's to inhale it, breathe it, whatever. So it has nothing to do with cold. But again,
or 5G.
As Jason just said, don't start that. As Jason just said, what'd you just say? Shit, I forgot.
I said that I'm picking Flat Earth.
I'm picking Flat Earth too.
Ding! Look at that. How easy was that? All right, so let me get to and then we'll give you your predictions, and then we will close out the show, and we'll come back, and we'll figure this out. Let's see who's got the lead. This is exciting. All right.
For those of you new, we do a bracket every Saturday. And
shit, we missed one more. Wow, this is a big bracket.
Oh, wow.
All right, we're all over it. We had a big day golfing. We're tired. Illuminati Freemasons versus alligators in the New York sewers. Quickly.
Alligators in the New York sewers are true, and I've seen it. I've seen the stories.
I seen it.
And so the Illuminati, There's no way in hell. The people, the influencers, love themselves way too much to
Yeah.
let some organization tell them what to do.
It's that line from Sneakers. Marty, you think organized crime is that organized? It really isn't. Or something like that. Somebody will correct me on that. That's one of my favorite lines.
So I'm picking alligators in the sewers.
All right. Well, I'm picking Illuminati, so we're going to flip again. Maybe I'll win this one. All right. So same thing. Here we go. Keith's the winner. Alligators move on.
Going to Vegas.
Okay, we can finally put this to bed for the night. So alligators going to Vegas. I didn't flip a coin and hurt anybody in the process. Okay, so there is the bread. Let's see where we are with predictions and tell you who's got the lead for now until next week's show.
Dan Beretta shows up.
Thanks, Dan. Glad you didn't hear what I said about the Nebraska
All
helmet.
seeing and knowing is in the lead right now. I don't know who that is because they're not registered on the site. We always appreciate when you do that because it'll make it easier. But I'm sure whoever all seeing and knowing is, maybe that's Stefan.
That's our boss, yeah.
He's in first. Matt Davis, big comeback. He's in second place. Not a single person grew up believing this was true. That is third place. Too close to call, whoever that is, in fourth. Another Matthews bracket, that's Bigfoot in fifth as a winner, only because single bullet theory wasn't listed. And then we have Too Many True Things here. And then we have PJ, Tinfoil Hat, Ray is on down there, and then Daniel Nathaniel.
At the bottom?
Toward the bottom of the tier.
Wow.
That's quite exciting. So you're fired from
that's
flipping.
That's because we have our 5G
Sneakers
band.
is a fantastic movie, Matt.
Yes.
So.
We have our 5G band on, and nobody can read our minds tonight.
All right, let's wrap this up. So we got a good bracket. We'll just remind you, come back next week. We will finish off this bracket. I made it bigger because there were a lot of fun things to talk about, and it gave us an opportunity to sort of spread our wings. But we will go through the grade 8 all the way to the end next week. We'll find out who that is, and we'll chuck out another T-shirt. Final thoughts, sir?
Thank you, everybody, for watching, whether you're watching on one of our pages or right here. You're fired from flipping, Jason.
Yeah, so you were fired from flipping, and now I'm fired from flipping. So we're going to have to bring in, maybe Annabelle can flip it for us. I just want to say thank you to everyone who not only watches the show, but sent birthday messages yesterday on my wall. That is honestly and candidly one of the most touching things that I read every year, that you take time to take a minute just to even type happy birthday. It really means a lot to me. I know for some people it's like, oh, it's Facebook, but to me it means a lot because that is your way of reaching out to me. Not everybody can call, not everybody can send a card, whatever. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for watching and listening to the show. We'll have the audio for this podcast up in about 2 hours, so we appreciate that, and we appreciate that you're continue to listen on. Don't forget the live videos are stored right here on Facebook. We haven't made a decision to go to one platform or the other because we haven't seen any merit in moving yet. We had a great night. We think we had 20 viewers tonight, so that was a great night. So we appreciate that. Thank you all for joining. We will leave you with this and say good night.
I think it went up pretty quick.
For those that missed it, this happened right outside my building.
I hope so.
Gas tank.
This is Jason.